There's something no one tells you about walking away. It's not just about leaving. It's about how you leave. Most people think if you walk away, he'll miss you automatically. But that's a lie. Walking away the wrong way is just as ineffective as staying in a dead relationship. The truth, if you don't leave with precision, power, and the right psychological impact, he'll feel nothing but relief. But if you walk away the right way, silently, strategically, with a subtle shift of energy, he will feel a pain so sharp, it will haunt him in the quiet moments. You see, men don't feel the full weight of losing you when you say goodbye. They feel it when you vanish without drama, without warning, without giving them the satisfaction of watching you fall apart. That's the pain that lingers. That's the pain that makes them miss you long after you've gone. This isn't about games. This is about self-respect. It's about knowing how to create distance that speaks louder than words. It's about walking away in a way that echoes through his mind, forcing him to question everything he took for granted. If you've ever begged for his attention, if you've ever wondered why he didn't chase you when you walked away, it's because no one ever taught you the right way to leave. In this video, I'm going to show you that way. The way that makes him feel your absence 10x more than your presence ever did. Stay with me, because once you learn this, you'll never look back. And neither will he, because he'll be too busy looking for you. When you stay in a man's life after he's stopped appreciating you, you think you're giving him love, patience, and loyalty. You think that if you just love him harder, stay longer, and wait it out, he'll finally see your worth. But what actually happens is the opposite. The longer you stay where you're not valued, the more he gets used to your presence. Your love no longer feels special. It becomes expected. It loses its impact because you've made yourself too available for too long. And here's the painful truth. Most women don't realize staying actually protects him from the pain of losing you. He has no reason to miss you. He has no reason to worry. You're always there. You're always giving. You're always hoping. But when you walk away the right way, when you pull back, disappear, and distance yourself without making announcements, without causing scenes, without threatening to leave, something shifts inside him. Suddenly you create an emotional gap that he didn't prepare for. Men don't always feel the weight of losing you in the moment. They feel it later. They feel it in your silence. They feel it when their phone stops buzzing with your name. They feel it when you no longer check in. They feel it when they realize they don't have easy access to you anymore. When you stay, you make him feel safe, in control, and secure. But when you walk away, you remove that security. You make him feel uncertain, powerless, and left behind. The comfort he had in knowing you were always available vanishes. That comfort quickly turns into confusion, then curiosity, then panic. He starts to wonder where you went, why you stopped trying, and why you're no longer there to catch him when he falls. And that's the moment he realizes he's not the one who walked away. The most powerful thing about walking away is that you don't need to make a grand exit. You don't need to block him, scream at him, or give a final speech. Your absence is the message. Your distance is the lesson. Your silence is what echoes. And at first he may feel nothing. He may assume you'll come back like you always did. He may believe you're just upset and waiting for him to call. But days turn into weeks, and you don't return. That's when it hits him. That's when the pain starts creeping in. That's when he starts feeling the loss in his chest. Because you've stopped feeding his ego, you've stopped chasing, you've stopped waiting. Men are not built to handle that level of uncertainty. They chase what they can't control. They obsess over what they can't predict. When you walk away with quiet strength, you leave him chasing a version of you he can no longer reach. And the most painful part for him, you didn't leave to hurt him. You didn't walk away to teach him a lesson. You left because you finally realized you were worth more than waiting. You left because you finally understood that love without respect isn't love at all. And now, while you grow, while you heal, while you move on, he is stuck reliving what he lost. He replays conversations in his head. He scrolls through old messages. He checks your social media, hoping to find traces of your attention. But you're gone. Not bitter, not angry. You've simply detached. That's why walking away hurts him more than staying. Because your silence is permanent, your absence is unforgettable, and your decision to walk away, not for revenge but for self-respect, is the one thing he will never be able to undo. When a man starts to miss you intensely, it's never random. It's triggered by powerful psychological hooks that work deep inside his subconscious, often in ways he can't fully explain. These aren't cheap games or surface-level tactics. These are emotional anchors that quietly attach to his thoughts, making you almost impossible to forget. The first hook is unpredictability. When you become unpredictable in your energy, your presence, and your responses, you disrupt his expectations. Men are wired to chase what feels slightly out of reach. If you're always available, always responsive, always saying yes, he starts to predict your behavior. And with predictability comes emotional boredom. But when you shift your energy, sometimes warm, sometimes distant, he can't figure you out. That uncertainty triggers a psychological itch he needs to scratch. He starts thinking about you more, checking in more, because your silence now has weight. Another hook is emotional contrast. A man misses you most when you've given him a full emotional experience. When you've shown him softness, connection, warmth, but then taken it away without warning. It's the withdrawal of those beautiful moments that leaves the deepest mark. When you've laughed with him, been his safe space, and created comfort, and then you step back, that emotional contrast creates longing. He doesn't just miss you, he misses how he felt with you. And that's what keeps him hooked. The next psychological trigger is curiosity. When you walk away quietly, when you don't explain yourself, when you stop posting for attention, you plant questions in his mind. Where did she go? Is she over me? Has she found someone else? These unanswered questions become mental loops that replay over and over. The male mind craves closure. It hates open-ended situations. When you leave a man wondering, you become mentally unforgettable, because his brain is desperate to solve the puzzle you left behind. Curiosity is powerful because it pulls his attention back to you, whether he wants it or not. Another hook is scarcity. Men value what feels rare. When your attention was frequent, it lost its value. But when you suddenly become hard to reach, when your energy feels limited, you become scarce, and scarcity creates obsession. People always want more of what they can't easily have. Your distance now feels precious to him. Every message, every glance, every ounce of your energy becomes something he craves, because you've taught him that access to you is no longer guaranteed. One of the deepest hooks is nostalgia. When you walk away without slamming the door, you leave room for his memories to fill the silence. He'll replay the good times. He'll remember your laugh, your presence, your support. And here's the secret. Men often rewrite history when you're gone. He may have overlooked you when you were there, but after you leave, his mind starts romanticizing you. He remembers the best parts. He forgets the conflict. Nostalgia paints you in the best light and pulls him into emotional memories that make him miss you more deeply than you ever imagined. Finally, the most powerful hook is when you detach with grace. When you walk away with quiet strength, not to punish him, not to get attention, but because you've chosen yourself, you create a permanent imprint on his mind. You're not the woman who begged, argued, or tried to prove her worth. You're the woman who knew when to leave. And that kind of emotional discipline is rare. These psychological hooks, unpredictability, emotional contrast, curiosity, scarcity, nostalgia, and graceful detachment, are what make him miss you intensely. Not because you forced him to, but because you became the woman he cannot replace. You became the one who slipped through his fingers, and now you're the one he can't stop thinking about. Walking away without saying a word is one of the most powerful things you can do. It's not dramatic, it's not loud, and it's not about slamming doors. It's about disappearing in a way that forces him to feel your absence without warning. When you walk away quietly, you create a psychological shock. Men are used to women explaining themselves, begging for closure, or having long emotional conversations before they leave. But when you simply remove yourself, when you stop showing up without notice, it unsettles him. It makes him realize he's lost you before he even had the chance to process what was happening. And that's what sticks with him the most. The key to walking away without saying a word is to stop giving energy to things that no longer serve you. You stop initiating conversations. You stop texting first. You stop liking his posts. You stop trying to fix what he doesn't care to fix. You don't need to block him. You don't need to announce your departure. And you don't need to get the last word. You just quietly stop being available. You quietly remove your attention. You quietly pull back your emotional investment. And the silence becomes your loudest message. The reason this is so effective is because it shifts the power. When you walk away without explanation, he loses his chance to argue, to defend, to manipulate, or to pull you back in with sweet words. You've taken that away from him. The game he was playing suddenly ends, and he didn't even know the final round had started. This quiet exit shakes him, because he expected you to wait, to fight, to chase. But you didn't. You simply vanished. When you stop responding, stop showing up, and stop making yourself emotionally available, it triggers an immediate gap in his life. He's so used to your presence that your sudden absence feels like a missing piece. And because you didn't give him the comfort of a goodbye, his mind starts racing. Did she move on? Does she still care? Was I not important enough for her to even explain? These thoughts keep looping because you left him with no answers. And when a man doesn't get closure, he keeps searching for it. He checks his phone more often. He wonders if you'll reach out again. He watches your social media, waiting for a sign, but you've gone silent. Walking away without words is not about punishing him. It's about protecting your peace. It's about stepping out of situations where your love is not being valued. It's about realizing you don't owe anyone a conversation that won't change the outcome. Your absence teaches him what your presence never could. It teaches him what it feels like to really lose you. And the beauty of this approach is that you don't have to perform strength. You simply embody it. You don't have to convince him you're serious. Your distance proves it. When you choose silence, you choose your power. You show that you don't need to beg for understanding. You don't need to ask for effort. And you don't need to explain why you're gone. The man who once took your energy for granted will now feel your absence like a weight. He'll search for you in conversations, in memories, in places where you used to be. He'll realize that you didn't walk away to punish him. You walked away because staying was no longer an option for the woman you've become. Walking away without saying a word is not weakness. It's the ultimate strength. It's the quietest, but most powerful way to say, I choose me now. And that is a message he will never forget. There is a unique and undeniable power in leaving when you're still wanted. Most people wait until the relationship is completely broken. They wait until all the love has faded, until they are begging for attention, until they've lost all self-worth. But the deepest impact happens when you walk away while he still desires you. When you leave while he's still calling, still texting, still assuming you'll always be there. That's when the loss hits the hardest. That's when you create a permanent space in his mind that no one else can fill. Walking away when you're still wanted is the ultimate shift in power. It's not about waiting until he's already gone emotionally. It's about knowing your worth so deeply that you can say, I deserve better, even when he still wants you around. That decision is rare. That decision is unforgettable, because most people leave when it's too late. But you leave when he's still reaching for you. When you walk away while he still wants you, you become the exception. You become the one he didn't expect to lose. You didn't wait to be discarded. You didn't wait to be a last resort. You left while he still saw you as valuable. That's what creates the emotional sting. That's what makes him chase memories of you long after you've gone. He wasn't done with you. He didn't get closure. He didn't get to push you away further. You left with power, with dignity, and with a quiet decision that speaks volumes. Men are not wired to feel urgency when they think you're always available. When they know you'll stay no matter what, they stop valuing your presence. But when you walk away on your own terms, before he's ready to lose you, you shock his system. You interrupt his comfort. You force him to realize that you are not someone who waits to be replaced. You are someone who knows exactly when to leave. And what makes this so powerful is that you don't leave with bitterness. You don't leave out of anger. You leave because you've outgrown the version of you that settled. You leave because you understand that staying would mean shrinking yourself. You leave while you're still wanted because you're not interested in being tolerated. You're interested in being cherished. That's what lingers in his mind. That's what he replays late at night. The woman who left while he still desired her is the woman who becomes the what if for the rest of his life. She's the woman he can't stop thinking about. Because you didn't wait to be taken for granted. You didn't wait to become an option. You left while you were still the prize. When you exit with grace while he's still reaching for you, you leave an emotional imprint that doesn't fade. You leave him questioning why he couldn't hold on to you. You leave him wondering what he did wrong, even if you never pointed out. The power of leaving when you're still wanted is that you control the story. You control the goodbye. You control your worth. And when he realizes that, it's too late. You've already chosen yourself. You've already moved forward. You've already reclaimed your peace. The women who leave too late are often forgotten. The women who leave too soon often regret it. But the women who leave at the exact moment they are still wanted, they are remembered forever. That is the kind of departure that makes a man miss you for years. That is the power of walking away when you still hold the crown. Emotional detachment is the key to leaving without regret. It's the silent strength that allows you to walk away, not out of anger, not out of revenge, but from a place of deep clarity. Most people try to leave while they're still emotionally hooked, and that's why it hurts so much. They walk away, but their hearts are still begging to stay. They physically leave, but mentally, they're still waiting for a text, still checking his social media, still hoping for a last-minute change. That's not true detachment. That's leaving with invisible chains still wrapped around you. Emotional detachment is what frees you. It's what gives you the peace of mind that you did the right thing, and it protects you from second-guessing your decision. The truth is, emotional detachment doesn't happen overnight. It's a quiet process. It's the moment you stop romanticizing potential and start seeing reality. It's the day you realize he's not going to wake up one morning and suddenly value you the way you deserve. It's when you stop holding on to the version of him you built in your imagination and start accepting the version that's standing in front of you. And when you fully accept that reality, the attachment starts to dissolve. The most powerful way to detach is to stop feeding the connection. Every text you send, every call you answer, every memory you replay keeps the attachment alive. Detachment requires space. It requires silence. It requires you to stop pouring energy into a situation that's draining you. Emotional detachment doesn't mean you stop caring overnight. It means you choose to stop participating in your own heartbreak. You stop being available for the same cycle that keeps hurting you. And that's where the regret disappears. When you walk away with emotional detachment, you no longer leave with bitterness. You don't carry the weight of what if, because you know you did everything you could. You know you stayed long enough to be sure, but you didn't stay so long that you lost yourself. Emotional detachment allows you to walk away with self-respect intact. You don't look back wondering if you made the right decision. You feel the rightness of it because your peace is no longer tied to his presence. And the secret to walking away without regret is realizing that your happiness was never supposed to be his responsibility. When you detach emotionally, you take your power back. You stop waiting for his apology, for his change, for his approval. You stop making him the source of your worth. You become your own source. And that's when you walk away, not because you're angry, but because you've outgrown the space where you were once begging to stay. Walking away without regret is not about pretending you don't feel anything. It's about feeling it fully, accepting it, and still choosing to leave. It's about knowing that you can love someone and still decide they're not right for your future. That's emotional maturity. That's real strength. When you detach, you stop checking if he's noticed your absence. You stop wondering if he misses you. You stop trying to control what happens after you leave. Because you realize it's not about whether he regrets losing you. It's about whether you're finally free to find yourself. The freedom that comes from emotional detachment is the kind of peace you can't fake. It's quiet, it's steady, it's unshakable. You're not chasing closure. You're not waiting for him to validate your pain. You've closed the door yourself, and you've done it with love for yourself. That's how you walk away without regret. That's how you move forward without looking back. And that's how you finally truly set yourself free. The final step in making him feel the pain long after you're gone is not about revenge, manipulation, or playing games. It's about doing something much more powerful, disappearing into the best version of yourself. The most unforgettable pain isn't caused by angry words, block numbers, or dramatic exits. The pain that lingers, the one that hits him at 3 a.m. in the quiet spaces of his life, is the realization that you truly moved on, that you've outgrown him, and that you are thriving without him. The reason most men don't feel the weight of losing a woman immediately is because they expect her to return. They expect the door to remain slightly open. They expect to see signs that she still cares. But when you completely disconnect, when you stop giving him access to your energy, when you no longer leave breadcrumbs behind, you deliver the one message his ego can't handle. You no longer need him. Making him feel the pain long after you're gone starts when you stop looking back. You don't check his posts, you don't ask about him, you don't try to make him jealous, and you don't need to prove anything to him. You simply vanish from his world and fully step into your own. Your silence, your growth, your peace, those are the sharpest reminders of what he lost. The real power is when you move forward so gracefully that he realizes you were the best thing that ever happened to him, and now he can't reach you. It's not just the physical distance that hurts. It's the emotional gap that you never fill again. You become the unanswered question. You become the unfinished story. That's what keeps him up at night. That's what replays in his mind long after you've stopped thinking about him. The final step is becoming so focused on your own life that he no longer feels like the center of your universe. You pour your energy into your passions, your growth, your happiness, and the life you may have put on hold while you were trying to make things work with him. The more you elevate, the more he feels the sting of your absence. He sees you moving, glowing, laughing, and not once looking over your shoulder to see if he's watching. That's the kind of pain that lingers. And you don't have to prove your progress to him. You don't need to broadcast your life in a way that's designed to make him jealous. You don't need to post with new people or send indirect messages. Real growth speaks for itself. True detachment doesn't need an audience. What makes him feel the deepest pain is knowing you don't need his validation anymore. You make him feel the pain when you no longer need closure, when you no longer chase explanations, and when you stop waiting for him to realize your worth. You've already realized it. You've already claimed it. And the moment you truly believe you deserve better is the moment he finally believes he lost something irreplaceable. This is the pain that doesn't fade quickly. This is the pain that resurfaces when he meets someone new but still compares her to you. It's the pain that comes back when he's scrolling late at night, wondering why your name hasn't popped up. It's the ache that sneaks in when he hears a song that reminds him of you, or walks past places you used to go together. Because now you're gone, not temporarily, but permanently. The final step is walking so far into your own happiness that you no longer even wonder if he's in pain, and that's exactly when he starts to feel it the most. The deepest pain isn't caused by losing you. It's caused by realizing you're never coming back.